All right, guys, so 3-2C is the last section of notes. It's all over parallel and perpendicular lines. So what we're going to learn today is that lines that are parallel, so you're going to want to write this down, lines that are parallel have the same slope, which makes sense, right? If they're never going to touch, they have to go up the same rate. Lines that are perpendicular have two things that have to happen. Number one, they have to be opposite signs. So if it's negative, it has to turn positive. If it's positive, it has to turn negative. And the second thing that has to happen is it has to be a reciprocal. Okay, you learned about reciprocals in 6th grade. An example would be if I had 2/3. All right, I'm going to flip that and I get 3/2. That's a reciprocal. The reciprocal of 3 would be 1/3 because I can write 3 as 3/1. Okay, so main things to remember today are parallel lines have the same slope, perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, so let's look at line A. It says directions in the following problems. Lines A and B are parallel. Graph and label both lines. Then write the equation of line B. All right, so if I start with line A, here at -3 on my y-intercept, I know I'm going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So there's line A. I'm going to grab my ruler and get my straight edge. All right. Now, it says line B passes through 0, 4. Well, I know my y-intercept then is right here at 0, 4. And in order for it to be parallel, it's going to have the same exact slope. So my equation will be y equals, parallel means same slope, 2x plus 4. So from here, I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. All right, get your ruler ready and connect your lines. Okay, number 2 says that there's a line with a slope of -4 that goes through a y-intercept at 1. So I'm going to go ahead and graph that. Here's my y-intercept at 1. I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. Down 4 and over 1. All right, maybe I'll go the opposite direction to get another point on the left side of the y-axis. So up 4 to the left 1 and get my straight edge. So here is line A. Okay, line B passes through 0, -5, which is down here, has the same slope. So I know that it has a negative slope. I'm going down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1. And the opposite of that is going up 4 to the left 1. And here is my slope. So what does this mean? Well, the equation of the line is y equals -4x minus 5. Again, my slopes in both of these equations are the exact same. Okay, number 3, line A starts at 4 on my y-intercept. Slope is 1/2, so up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 to the right 2. And I'm going to continue this the other way as well. Here's my line. Line B passes through 0, 7. Slope is up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. So my equation then, slope has to be the same, is y equals 1/2 x plus 7. All right. I'm going to have you guys go ahead and do number 4 on your own. And I'm going to hop back in here down below. It says, in the following problems, lines A and B are parallel. Find the equation for line B without graphing. All right, well, let's talk slope-intercept form, right? We know slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. We have 2 lines. We have line A and line B. They tell me that they are parallel lines. So I'm trying to find my slope and my y-intercept of line B if they're parallel. Well, again, parallel means they're going to have the same slope. So line A, my slope was -3. That means line B, my slope is -3. But just like we learned in 3-1D, I don't have a freebie. I need to figure out where it crosses my y-intercept. Because remember, 2, 3 is not on the y-intercept. So what I need to do is use slope-intercept form, just like we did in 3-1D and 3-1E, to figure out where my line crosses the y-intercept. So they gave us a point for x, they gave us a point for y. So that means when I plug this all together, I'll get 3 equals M was -3, X was 2 plus B. I get 3 equals -6 plus B. I'm going to add 6 to both sides, and I get 9 is B, which means my y-intercept is 9. Okay, number 6 says find the equation of a line that is parallel to line A and passes through -6, 2. Well, if it's parallel, again, I know my slopes are going to be the same, but I need to find my y-intercept. They gave me an x, they gave me a y. I'm going to solve. So I get 2 equals, because y equals m, which is 1/3, times x, which is -6, plus b. When I solve this, I get 2 equals -2 plus b. I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and I get b is 4. Okay? It says, given the slope of a line, how do you figure out if the line is perpendicular to it? Well, to do that, we're going to learn that a perpendicular line has opposite and it's a reciprocal. Okay, so it says give the slope of a line that is perpendicular to the following lines. So here, my slope was 3. For it to be perpendicular, the first thing we need to do is make it opposite sign, so it's going to be negative. And the reciprocal of 3 is going to be 1/3. B, slope was -2/3. First thing I have to do is change the sign. So it's going to be 3/2 because I flipped the sign and I flipped my numerator and my denominator. C, my slope was -1, and now for perpendicular, opposite means it's going to be positive. And if I flip 1/1, it's still just 1. D, opposite sign, so it's going to be positive. My slope will be +2. Okay, but I got to flip it still, so I'll get 1/2. All right, so opposite reciprocals. Ms. Fedorsky, how'd you get 1/2? Well, think about it. If I have 2, that's 2/1, right? It was negative, now it's positive. I have to flip it for my reciprocal. That's where I got 1/2. Okay, so these are some main ideas. I'm going to go ahead and jump in the following problems. Lines A and B are perpendicular. Graph and label both lines, then write the equation of line B. Okay, so they first asked me, here's line A, perpendicular have opposite reciprocals. So that means the opposite of positive is negative. My reciprocal of 4, when I flip my numerator and denominator, will be -1/4. So they tell me, let's go ahead and graph this first line, y equals 4x plus 9. All right, I could go up 4/1. I'm going to go down 4 to the left one, down 4 to the left one, down 4 to the left one. Get my straight edge, make my line. There's my first line. Line B passes through 4, -7, which is right here. And it has a slope of -1/4. So I'm going to go down 1 to the right 4, or up 1 to the left 4, right? For that negative slope. Up 1 to the left 4, up 1 to the left 4. So this will continue on this way. And my other line is perpendicular to it. So here's my second line. All right. Equation of line B. Well, a couple things I have to do here. First and foremost, I know my slope for my new line is -1/4. Now I've got to figure out, I can't really tell on the graph where it's crossing my y-axis, so I need to use these points to plug in to find where it's crossing. So I'll get -7 equals 4 times -1/4, because that was my slope, plus b. I get -7 equals, let's see, -1 plus b. I'll add 1 to both sides, and it should cross right at -6. So if my b is -6 for line B, that means y equals -1/4 x minus 6. All right. I want you guys, 10, tricky. We need to put this into slope-intercept form first. So I want to get y by itself. What do I have to do? Divide everything by 2. We'll get y equals 3/2 x plus 4. So the slope of line B, if it's opposite reciprocal, is going to be negative 2/3. All right. So when I graph that, I have a y-intercept at 4. I'm going up 3 to the right 2, up 3 to the right 2, or down 3 to the left 2. Line B passes through 3, 7, so I'll go over to 3, up to 7. 1, 2, 3, up to 7, 5, 6, 7, right here. And my slope is negative 2/3. So if I go down 2, over 3 for that one, down 2, over 3, my line goes somewhere right through here. Well, they want to know, what's my equation for line B? Again, this is not a freebie, so I have to do some work. I know my m was negative 2/3. I know I had an x value of 3, a y value of 7. So I get y equals m times x plus b. I get 7 equals negative 2 plus b. So b has to be 9. Equation y equals negative 2/3 x plus 9. Okay. Determine if the following sets are parallel or perpendicular. Let's look at these down below. It says line A has a slope of 3/4. Line B, slope of 3/4. Must mean they're both parallel. So those are parallel lines. 14, this one has a slope of 3/4. This one's negative 3/4. So I know it's not parallel. Has a negative sign in one, but not opposite reciprocals. So this is neither. 15. I have 3/4 and 4/3. There's the reciprocal, but it's not the opposite sign, so neither. 16, 3/4 and negative 4/3. There's that opposite sign and the reciprocal, so that means they are perpendicular. 17, I have 3 and negative 3. Negative sign in one, but no reciprocal, so neither. 18, 3 and 3, same slope. That means they are parallel. 19, I've got 3x as one slope and negative 1/3 as another. Perpendicular. 20, I have 3 as one and then 1/3. Well, there's not opposite signs in there, so I know it's neither. Okay, 21, a little bit more challenging. I need to subtract 6x on both sides. I get 3y equals negative 6x plus 18. Divide both sides by 3. So I'll get a slope here of negative 2. Well, 1/2 and negative 2, opposite reciprocals. So those are perpendicular, okay? So what I'm going to have you guys do is the homework that will be down below here once I post it to these problems. Main ideas today are just to be able to understand that lines that are parallel don't touch, which means they have the same slope, and lines that are perpendicular will have opposite reciprocals as their slopes, okay? So copy this down and then go ahead and do the problems I've circled down below for you.